Hi, doggies. Want to hear a song? The sun's coming up and I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. That's a song by John Denver. There's more song after that. That's all I remember. Look at these crazy monsters out here. Hi, are you crazy monsters? Oh, are you a crazy monster? Are you a crazy monster? Oh, you're such good crazy monsters. Hi there. Hi there. Are these three boys? I forgot if a cote, this dog right here, is male or female. Hey, let me see your genitalia. It's a very impolite thing to say. But they're slave animals, so I want to see if they're male or female. Come here. Oh, he or she knows I want something, and he or she doesn't know if that's going to be a good thing. Hi. Well, I'm grabbing her leg. It's a her. Yeah, there's no dick. So that is a girl. A cote is kind of a gender neutral or male sounding name, so. Oh, look at that beautiful sunrise. This camera does not pick up sunrises good, so I'm sorry about that. I'm going to open up the dog food because that's why all the dogs are excited. I'm moving them to a schedule of feeding them every other day because this is my last bag of dog food right here. Boom. See, there's a whole box of dog food. And there's all the dog food they got. And I'm in a really good mood today. It is the 4th day, January 4th of 2004. No, 2005. It changed. Which means I've been here. I often say I've been here 20 years. And I arrived in the spring. And I bought it in the winter. So about 21 years ago now today, I was here, somewhere around here, in the area looking to buy land. And at this point, I had not found it yet. I was looking, and I didn't speak good Spanish. And this area is a Spanish-speaking area. Fuck. Anyway, I was looking for land, and so it was 21, I'm going to start saying 21 years ago. Although it won't, wait. It was already 20 years ago in 2004, no, in 2020. I need coffee. Not really awake. Therefore, because it took me a while after I bought it. I mean, do I start measuring from when I bought the land or I moved here? Because I had to go back home, finish selling my house, and then move here. So it's still 20 years. It's 20 years ago I bought it, almost. In a couple months, it'll be 20 years ago I bought it. And then yeah, I bought it like 21 years ago. And then I moved here 21 and some months later ago. Whatever. I'm pretty excited though. I'll give you a couple reasons. One is I've learned a lot. And that was one of the primary goals of making this big change I made. And I learned it in a lot of hard ways. There's a movie called Little Big Farm or something. My God, those people were well funded. They had lots of money to play with, and they had lots of expertise and a big team. Even though it looks like a small team, all the work they're doing, it's obviously a huge team. So that is not the fucking same as doing things the way I did them. And for educational purposes, I'm really happy that things have gone as they have in most cases, even though it's been very uncomfortable. But recently, just in the last few months, I have been talking to more people. One of them is, well, you're more than one person. You're a bunch of people. And boy, are you a diverse crowd. But it's become more clear to me, especially in the private conversations I've had with some of them are people looking to move to Mexico. Some of them are idealistic people who have opinions about reality and stuff. Actually, I've been talking to people for the last year or so. Well, all my life about that. But relating to how this project can work in this year, this exciting year of 2025, when I can really say that I would like to found this place. And I don't want to use the old name of it. I feel the old name is a trap. My own name, in a sense, is a trap. I might change my own name. Maybe I'll just change my name to Forrest. I've always liked it. People think I'm a dumbass. They think Forrest Gump is a dumbass in that movie. And, of course, in the movie, he's not really a dumbass. Stupid is as stupid does. I actually don't know what that means. But fairly amazing, amusing movie. And, of course, he got involved with a woman who pretty much just used him. Nobody notices that in the movie except a few people who do. And they find her a fairly annoying character. On the other hand, what could she do but what she had to do in her life? People got to do shit. So she wasn't just abusing the retard. Although you could sure see it that way. He was there for her the whole time, and she was there when she wanted him. But that's true for all of us, I guess. I mean, life is transactional. And I think about that for this place, as it's only going to survive if I create transactional relationships on behalf of the forest, and I live in a transactional relationship with myself and others. I think this word transactional sounds bad, right? We don't like that idea. Well, everything's a movement of energy. When we could rephrase this into pseudo-spiritual talk if you want. In fact, you could take all the harsh shit that I say and just have a pseudo-spiritual interpreter to walk around by me and then turn what I say into a more palatable version and, you know, use frequency, energy, and chakras and shit. Got some hot water here. This is exciting. I'm going to drink some really disgusting instant coffee because I don't have any real coffee, which, I should feel pretty ashamed about because I drank good coffee for quite a few years. I had a really nice corporate job where coffee was on tap, and it was perfectly good coffee, too. And it was all day long on tap. At one point, I was drinking 2 pots a day. It wasn't in pots. It was just on tap. But I was drinking 10, 15, sometimes 20 cups a day. Eventually, I think I got an ulcer. But that might also have to do with a relatively sedentary lifestyle and a lot of stress. But I'll tell you this. Fucking corporate job with big money going on. It's not even close to as much stress as I've had here in the forest. And something happened yesterday that's going to fuck me up. It's going to be great. It's exciting, and I'll share that news with you. Yesterday, for the very first time in a long time, there were some other people that came through as well, but it's been a while. I agreed to have 2 people spend 2 nights here. And they're people I've been talking to, and we share some values. And more, I think sharing values is absolutely critical. But I still haven't gone through the whole process with them of doing a value check of all the values we might share or not. Because also all I'm doing is agreeing they can stay a couple nights. Which used to be, I would do that kind of shit all the time. But my infrastructure was better. I felt better about myself. And one of them is looking to move to this area. It's really a nice sunrise out there. I should be up at a view over the valley, but it's way up there, and I'm way down here, and I'm still wearing slippers, and I have to put on shoes. My life's so complex. Anyway, I was thinking about, okay, what do I actually have to do to clean it up enough so that they have a clean place to sleep? And what do I have to do in my house so I can clean it enough so that someone could walk into it and not think I'm a disgusting person? Although, there's a guy and a woman, right? They're not a couple apparently, but it's a guy and a woman. Both seem real nice. And apparently she's worked with hoarders before, so she's seen worse than me. I'm like a hoarder, but I have lots of buildings, so all my shit's spread out. But I'm also a really weird guy. Like I've mentioned, you know, I have the skeleton of a rattlesnake in the solar dehydrator. There's also a dead rat in there that I have the skeleton of as well, but that didn't sound as cool as a rattlesnake. And then I've got another rattlesnake sitting in water over there just to see what will happen to its skeleton. And it's been there for some months now. The water turned green and is slowly now starting to evaporate off. So at some point I'll probably make a video and dump it out and see what happened to that rattlesnake. I think the bones might have disintegrated though. Being in water can't be as good as being in a dehydrator. A dehydrator is a better idea. And I like the idea of dehydrating animals and then super gluing their skeleton together and be like, taxidermy seems like too much work. Anyway, so these people would come here and they'd stay 2 nights and we might go out. They're going to have a car. Because one great thing about this 4th day of 2025 is that I'm just more desperate than I've ever been. I'm out of sleeping pills, which is the only way I can sleep, although I think I'm probably addicted to them. It's called clonazepam or something, clonazepam. I went to my doctor, who I never see, like 8 years ago or 10 years ago, I don't know how long ago. And I said, hey, I can't sleep. And so he prescribed me this. And so I buy it and I eat like half a pill a night. And lately I've been having more sleeping problems and my mind is going nuts and I'm stressed out. So lately I've been eating a half of one and then waking up in the middle of the night and eating another half of one, and now I have 0 left. And I know what happens next because I've run out before. And what happens next is I won't be able to go to sleep. I won't be able to sleep tonight. What is it, Saturday or Sunday? It's probably Sunday. So I won't be able to go to sleep, and then things will just start getting weirder from there. Because I won't sleep at all tonight, and I'll be able to sleep maybe an hour or two the next night. And then I don't know what my symptoms are exactly, but I just know I start thinking weird shit. And I already think weird shit all the time anyway. But let's get back on track with an optimistic view for this year. I've talked in a few other videos about other ways I could invite people here. And I think the thing to do with that is to go through the list of everybody I've ever known, categorize them, and even though they're not a perfect values match in every single way for me to have them in my life, they're people I at least trust enough that if I had a basic system here of feeding people that was clean place, secure, things for them to do, and I've been in this state before. I've hosted lots of people who had a blast. I at least know them enough that I could say, hey, why don't you come here for a visit? And I'm going to charge you because I have to. Or you are going to fund this place to such a high degree that I don't have to fund anybody. And that's my preference. I mean, I'll do it both ways. And on videos, people don't need to know who's paying or not. I don't want to set up a class structure of who's being paid for and who's paying their own way, because I want all of them to be here with the same goal of doing amazing shit. And some of that shit can be on camera, and some of it doesn't have to be, and some of it can be on their own channel, and some of it can be on my channels. I don't care. But I know everything now. I know enough now. After 21 years, I know what I'm envisioning here, and I've messed around and experimented more than I thought I would ever have to get to the pretty crystal clear vision of how this place could work, but more importantly, what I don't want. And it's still a little confusing because it's not one thing. Like I'll set up different ways people can be here. The more difficult part would be inviting people I don't know here. Because, of course, being as public as I am puts me in a vulnerable spot to be communicating with people I don't know or trust, and I don't like all their motivations. Look at this nice cup. Fiesta like there's no mañana. Party like there's no tomorrow. No, that's a stupid phrase. There is probably going to be a tomorrow. So party like there'll be a tomorrow. Because you're going to have to clean up that mess and suffer the consequences. Although I guess, you might want to party like it's in the now. No, not partying the way I've partied. I've partied pretty hardy in a lot of ways, and I've done it very responsibly, like there is a tomorrow. And very rarely have I partied in ways that had negative consequences the next day. Although falling off a roof and breaking your legs is not a good way to party, but that was not intentional. That was not because I read a slogan on a cup. This is really nice sunrise. You don't see nice sunrise this time of year. And I guess inviting people again, first, it was really harsh to talk to these two people. Really nice people, but it made me realize that one of the reasons I'm not inviting anyone is because my place sucks. And I suck. But let's talk about the infrastructure, because the infrastructure is very fixable. And so am I, come to think of it. I mean, I still like people, even though I hate them. And I used to trust people, and I could trust them again. Trust them, with limits and understanding who they are and what they are. But that means I don't have to fit them into the rest of my life. I don't have to act like I'm dating somebody and going to get married to them just because I want them to visit. I can just have people in a role doing a thing and have options for them to be productive and have a nice time and make sure it's a win-win situation. But there's one thing I want from everybody that comes here. And with these two as well, with them I kind of know. I want everybody to have a goal. Although their goals are for them, and they're uncertain about what they want. And they have different goals. Each one of them has a different goal. But I think that everybody who comes here should be creating something that lasts for later. Not just creating a temporary experience and not just chatting. Like if we chat and it's on video, that's a higher quality chat right there. That's a product. Other people could come here, they can be a wood carver. I just saw a picture of a cute chick who's a wood carver, and I was like, cool. And she made a cool sculpture. Although I think she might have been AI. Everybody's becoming AI now. That's all the more reason to invite real people here, because pretty soon everybody online is going to be fake. That's the dead internet theory. What happens when 90% of everything you see online is a scam or a lie or fake in some way? Every business opportunity is an opportunity to rip you off. Every person is a manufactured AI person. Everything is designed to clickbait your eyeballs into your attention. Quality of information goes down. Proliferation of lies goes up. Some guy just commented on one of my videos about how I should read about all these free energy machines. And it's like, how stupid and young do I look to you? He doesn't know the difference. I looked at him. He looks pretty stupid and young. That's rude to say, but it's not my fault he looks stupid and young. He should fucking look in the mirror and not be stupid and young and think that there's free energy machines that break the laws of physics. I've had 2 or 3 people, I can't remember, it's been years. I mean, years just go by and so many people, but 2 or 3 people have messaged me about their brilliant plan for how they'll stay here for free and I'll invest in their free energy machines, which they know are going to work. And they're just looking for a free place to stay, but they're stupid enough that they've deluded themselves. They're like religious people. You can't tell them that they're wrong because they really, really need to emotionally believe that they're right and have value in their delusion. And they'll feel victimized. And if you don't give them a place to stay for free, clearly you just don't understand. And, you know, you're against them and their brilliant idea. And it's like, no, you don't have a good idea. Your idea is stupid. What do you need me for? Go do it yourself. And I'm a terrible place to work. I don't have like a maker space right now. My tools suck. I got no energy. I mean, I'm not going to whine in this video about every single system that's failed, but everything has failed. I mean, I'm down to jars of change. There are some optimistic things coming in the future. My friend has now agreed, and he has an address where he can mail to me a couple of cards that will theoretically allow me to get money. And I'm going to set up new accounts for this account for my new project, which will have a different name. I'm not sure where you're seeing this, so I can't say the name and or names of the projects I will create because, you know, there can be different faces on it. One of the most important ones is to create a nonprofit because I can get funding for a nonprofit that looks organized and useful and makes a promise. Because right now I'm crazy hermit in the woods, which I think is pretty cool, and I've done a really good job at it, and it's allowed me to think of tons of creative ideas, which are all written down, either in tons of notebooks, or I also have a lot of files on my computer, which are mostly backed up. I got to back them up, but more than one hard drive. And a lot of those ideas can be implemented, and I can't do them all, so I can invite other people who can also help manage those, who are very excited about that aspect of it. Like one person I just talked with, I mentioned that I don't actually like to garden. In fact, one guy commented that I'm not even a homesteader, which I don't know if he knows the etymology of the word homesteader, but he's probably not either. But then again, words change, right? And there is no more Homestead Act. I don't think you can still homestead. Maybe you can in some state. I don't know the law on it. But it actually had a different meaning. Now it just means a farm of some kind. But people, of course, love to say, you're not a real whatever. And I've explored those words as well. You know, you're not a real this, that, whatever, by my definition I made up. You know, and you're not a true Scotsman. Well, actually, I might be a true Scotsman, come to think of it. My last name is Scotch-Irish, and I looked it up, and it's unclear because it probably got the spelling changed either at Ellis Island during immigration, because that was common. But also there's a whole bunch of variations on the last name of my great-grandfather, and they're Scotch-Irish, basically. Not considered to be the best people in the world. The N-words of Europe, you might say. Good for being oppressed by the English and not fighting back well enough because they were so close it was harder to do so. I try not to get political, but I still wonder about Northern Ireland. Like, I think that should be part of Ireland. Maybe it should just be its own independent thing. But it sure as fuck shouldn't be owned by the English. Maybe Scotland shouldn't be either. I mean, English have been kicked out of a ton of the world. I don't think they should be anywhere but England. And they don't even own England anymore. Empires die. U.S. empire is going to die. There is a very serious undertone to what I want to create here. And although I want it to be fun, that's not really my actual goal. I want it to be productive. And so I don't want to talk to people anymore who just want to come and party. And maybe I'll make a video of pictures of just people coming here and partying and having a great time. That's what people are good at. People who have the wealth to do it become pretty useless for the most part. And the other ones become oppressors, which is worse than useless. It's evil. This is the shittiest coffee in the goddamn world. Yeah. Lately I made a few videos about like making a solar sauna, which is a basic infrastructure thing I need to be able to host people again. And hi honeys. You guys happy? Yeah, you happy puppies. What a nice group of dogs. But there's so many other projects here, and I don't think I want to publish the list of them all, because I think each one has to be developed as a concept enough that it's practically doable in a practical manner. And I think about the cost, the materials, all the shit that idiots don't think of when they just brainstorm crap, which I've been doing for a long time, although I've built a lot of stuff. So it's not like nothing's been built. And I grow a lot of stuff. But, you know, this place, like I was talking to that person who likes to garden and mentioning how I want to turn everything here into a huge forest farm that is intensely cultivated as an example to the world, really, of amazing shit you can do. But, you know, that takes a lot of labor. It takes a lot of things. But it's not rocket science. And I know what can be done in this climate, in this space, and where to do it to, for example, you know, don't plant a tree where later you're going to build a building. And this is something I was telling a friend of mine of, like, design-wise, because we're going to brainstorm for his place. He lives a couple towns over, and I've been consulting with him. And I said, well, you know, you've got a guy available to you, because now he's done. He's built his house, and he's settled in. He's still settling in. Takes a while. And where's my ravens? My ravens. They probably think I'm their person. Look, our person's awake, talking to himself again. They're really cool, magic birds. Anyway, so, I mean, one of my projects, for example, is set up more water for wildlife and birds. And every one of those projects is very easy to do. The thing I was getting at was, if I was going to put in plants, trees, water, oasi for wildlife and birds, and a bunch of other stuff, is I have to know where I'm going to potentially put bigger buildings later, to not put something in a spot that is going to be more useful for something else. And if you fucked it up a tiny percentage, big deal. Okay, so you screwed up. But it is a big deal in many cases. Like, if I'm going to plant a walnut tree, I want that walnut tree to grow. And it's true, if I'm planting 100 walnut trees and 2 of them have to get cut down because they're in a dumb spot, that's a shame. But proper design would be huge. And one of the goals, if I was to spell out, and this is what I have to do, spell out the financial needs of the next stages. And because it's a big world and I have an exciting project that is unlike anything anyone's doing, and then get that whole thing crowdfunded to a nonprofit. And I can write up, actually, might be a couple nonprofits, because there's a couple different aspects that would be attractive to the project. That's up there is a a jacaranda tree, and that bamboo over there is the first plant I put in. It's a timber bamboo. It's huge, and we're reproducing it. I got it in different spots. So like right now, I should have dozens of people here. And I'm ashamed of the state I'm in and the state the place is in, but that's part of the challenge. And it's probably better than starting from nothing, even though a lot of it's just cleaning up the space. One of the things in the budget I need to do is sometime in the next couple months. Let me look around. Not yet. There's a particular kind of tree that loses its leaves. We need to wait for that. And then I want the whole thing drone mapped. And I've got a great map. But so this is a budget item, right? Where I need to pay a hydrologist with a drone. And he's occasionally said he would do it for me for free. But he's not a rich guy, and he's got a cool project of his own. He's got kids and shit. And if I have any skill, it's in talking to the world and being willing to do that. And so I should get donations to the project, and then I should toss some money at him to do the work he does. And I don't know. But help him out in a couple ways. Like, I mean, this would be really great. I mean, there's no limit on the shit I can do. I've got so much space. And if I can figure out how to partner well with the right people, and that's really the key, because I'm scared shitless of people, and I should be. I'm what do they call it? They call it misanthropic, like I hate people. No, the suffix phobic gets tacked on to all sorts of shit needlessly, of things that people are not afraid of. And it's a rude way to phrase something like, well, you're just afraid. And it's like, no, sometimes people actually don't like something. Well, in this case, the wrong suffix is applied. I'm not misanthropic. I'm misophobic. People scare the fuck out of me because so many of them are terrible and they make a worse world, and I don't want this to become a shithole world like the rest of them, or a shithole part of the rest of the world. And I'm a mess. I'm very open with that, though. People online, when they insult me, it's like, it never really hurts my feelings, because I either think they're wrong and they're stupid, or they're right, and I already know who I am, so I already know I'm fucked up. But what's dumb is that people think that they know what I should do. And they're so wrong. They don't know shit. I mean, how the fuck would anybody know the things I've learned after this long, and coming from a whole different set of values of things I've learned way before that, and what I want to do and don't want to do? Because you can't just tell me I'm stupid for not doing what you tell me to do. I'm a fucking genius for not doing what I'm told to do. And yeah, I suffer because of it, and I'm drinking shitty coffee because of that. But I mean, you can't insult a rebel by telling them that they're a rebel. You can't insult a heretic by saying, you don't follow the rules. You're not doing what I tell you. Like, fuck you. Of course I'm not. Duh. But this is the year, baby. This is a make or break year. And even on a new channel I started, I have a couple people. Well, one guy just sent me a message, and he even filled out the little crap-ass form I have on top, and he said, well, I might donate and stuff, but I'm so private now, and so there's got to be a better word than misophobic. Homophobic would be good, except that supposedly has to do with gay people, and I was thinking of Homo sapiens. And I don't want to say sapiens phobic, because sapien has something to do with being smart or thinking or being knowledgeable. And I like being smart and knowledgeable, and I still am. See, it's the dog's got water over here. One cool thing is that even with a small number of people, yeah, dog's got a little bit of water right there. I got to remember to fill that, though. One cool thing about having people here is that a whole bunch of shit would get done again. In particular, if they're coming in with very defined job roles that they're going to fulfill, and then I will kick their ass right the fuck out of here if they don't do those things. And of course, those roles can change, and we can renegotiate and all that. But no, I want people coming in bringing in resources, bringing in skills, bringing in vision, and bringing in the energy and attention to put to that to do amazingly cool shit, whether it's on camera or off. And I shouldn't mention it, but I mean, I'm putting everything I have into this project, right? I already have. All my time, all the stuff I worked for decades before I bought this place and started doing it, and then the decades I've spent here. But as I am going to get rid of a credit card when I'm trying to escape from, I have 117,000 something airline miles, which is enough to fly like 3 people here round trip, or 6 people here one way trip, and then they can just die here or pay for their own way home. No, it's against the rules to die here. The penalty is death. Ha 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 ha. This is why I'm not a paid comedian. Death penalty. If you die, you will be dead. You know, coffee is either too hot or too cold. This is undrinkable shit. This is Nescafe. Why am I... Oh, I want the caffeine. Well, I already feel kind of hyper, like tired hyper. This will just make me tired, caffeinated hyper. I know what the problem with the dogs is. The dogs are lonely. Anyway, so I could fly some people down, but already that sets me up in an interaction with them that I don't like. That's the fundamental problem I've had, is that I pay for everyone else. That's the problem with my romantic relationships, is almost invariably I've paid for them all, which sets up an economic imbalance that hasn't really been a problem. I mean, nobody complained about that part. But overall, I start to think I'm being used. And so I have felt used by people a huge amount, especially, I mean, this will all be fixed with a contract for what they're accomplishing when they're here. Now, this last 2 people I was talking with, they actually are staying at Airbnbs. They're staying at hotels that I would never pay for, like more expensive than any hotel I've stayed at in my life or paid for in my life. And so they said they would actually pay me like an Airbnb to stay here, which is great. I mean, it feels so weird to take money from people. I'm so against it, but that's the only way. I mean, that's the easiest way for me to start having people here again. And I do like. I mean, it likes me. It makes me like them more because they're willing to contribute something that turns into actual value of what I really need. And they did also offer to bring me things that I can't get here. And I actually couldn't think of anything because it's not that there's things I need that come from far away. I've reduced my needs to almost nothing. So I didn't even have an answer ready, even though there's a whole bunch of shit that would make my life much better. I think them paying what for them is a little bit would be immensely helpful. And I have had 2 visitors come, and they were old friends, or friends from long ago, who brought resources. And then years ago, I had a friend who brought friends, and he was a great visitor. But I mean, that was so long ago now, like 6, 7 years ago, 8, I don't even know. And so I have all these imaginations of what this place can be, and those can be turned into reality if I pull the trigger on it. Today, I could start a couple crowdfunding efforts. Today, I could write up those nonprofits, and already my list is overwhelmingly too big. I could just pick one of those to do, and it would solve my problem immediately. In fact, because setting up the nonprofit is going to take time and is something new for me, if I just set up a crowdfunding effort, 2 of them, one of them to just gather money for the reopening of my place with a different name, that I could then send to people as a vision, and that people who know me or people even who just see this video or other videos I make lately could say, yeah, I'll dump money on that. See what that dude does with that place and some new people. Get somebody else on camera rather than just some fuzzy guy rambling along, embarrassing himself by drinking terrible coffee. That could be done today. It would fix all my problems, potentially almost instantly. And I could get other people here right away. Like these people want to come. They want to come later this month. No, next month. I have, it's the 4th now. They want to come approximately 1 month from now. And I haven't even told them exactly where I live or how to get here because I'm too shy and fucked up. And I'm so embarrassed at the state of my place. I really am. But for some kinds of people, like she says she's an organizer, and I guess he's an organizer too. I don't know what the hell that means. Does that mean they just want to come and tell me what to do? Because I've had plenty of that shit. But she also said she, wanted to dust and stuff, as if dust was my problem. I mean, everything's so dirty. It's not a dusting problem. It's everything's in the wrong spot. Everything's grown over, and I have stopped giving any fucks kind of problem. So, whatever. She's being really nice. She's very cool. That's why I'm talking to her and him. He also wants to organize shit, different kinds of stuff, but also stuff that gets me very excited. And that's one of the things I have to do is figure out how to filter the right people, how to cast them. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to somebody else. I'm going to tell them what I need. They're going to find the people. And I'm going to invite old friends too. But I either charge them, which it throws the dynamic off. I have massive psychological issues around that. And obviously they do. I mean, a lot of people be like, well, we were friends. We sure as fuck aren't friends now for most of them. I mean, I haven't talked to most of these people in over 20 years. And some of them I haven't talked to for 5 before that. And even then they were party friends, a lot of them. But they're cool people. Do I charge them? I don't know. There's tax implications. I don't like it. But maybe I just say I'm doing this project and then I happen to invite people who donate to the project. I like that. I had an accident a while ago and there's some people that donated to that and some people who have donated over time, small amounts, or occasionally some of them donated larger amounts. And I would invite them because I keep thinking, I have to only deal with people who fit together with me on this massive list of 1,000 values. And it's like, no, that's bullshit. I can host them in a more limited way. And I don't think I can invite normal people here, though, right now. I think if I do a crowdfunding thing and I set it up today and magically, almost magically, I could probably, within a week, fix all my financial problems, have people on site who I can hire to start cleaning the place up at a basic level. Well, that's not even absolutely required. Like the first people that come here as longer term participants, I'll call them participants, right? Cast members, but not everybody's on camera. Cast and crew. I like thinking of it like a movie project because it is. It's a living movie. And I want to, make more videos here. Because I think that sets up also a form of accountability. Of like, what are we creating? Why are we doing it? And then it creates a product other people can copy. If we make a solar sauna that works, if we can actually make a good solar sauna that works, I did a whole video on it. That is a revolutionary action. I've already made better composting toilets than Bill Gates' whole project made. Bill Gates is a very interesting guy. He did a cool toilet project where he had people submit proposals and they got awards to build these composting toilets. My toilet designs are better than his, of any that came into that project. I watched every video about it. And there's some that are there was one that's in a building. It might have been in the Blewett building. And I actually don't know if that one was part of the Bill Gates project or not. I don't know. I was just watching any video about any composting toilet I could. But that's the only one that mentioned composting worms. And that's a basic element in mine. Like, that should just happen. I mean, it's an obvious element. I have dung beetles and composting worms. I am solving world problems here, but I can't do them anymore because I have no funding or energy left and don't know if anybody in the world cares. But some people who see these videos indicate that they do care. And so I believe that if I write it up well enough, perhaps a number of different sub-projects, I could just crowd the solar sauna project, the solar brooder project, chicken brooder project, which would be copyable easily, cheaply, with local materials all around the world. Like the chicken brooder one is genius. Absolutely genius. Because everybody's got a little bit of food waste, right? And if you could create a chicken brooder that was pretty small, I'm thinking ideal sized, right? But in most cases, I think we should build a small one first. Correctly sized one. And that one's, like the chicken brooder one is so cake. There's no part of the design that's confusing. And it would just crank out hens and roosters, but people don't want roosters. People need roosters as much as they need men. They just need enough to impregnate enough women to have babies to continue the species. You don't need very many of them, and you could use a little eugenics and pick the right ones. This gets into what sounds like sci-fi, but that's what's happening anyway. Well, sort of. It's hard to tell which directions we're evolving into. Idiocracy being one of the directions, but I don't know who's reproducing at what rates and how we measure them, but I'm sure there's debates about that online. The point is, we can create a good chicken system, and whether it's rich places or impoverished places is irrelevant. Because now the price of eggs has gone up in a lot of places, and it's like, well, duh. It's because you keep people from having chickens. And I don't want to hear roosters all the time either. That's why I want to sell hens. I have a whole video about that. So that's my goal. 4th day of 2025, I need to write up these things. And I've been keeping spreadsheets of people to invite because I see someone who seems interesting and doesn't seem like we have deal breakers, like being a pseudo-spiritual poof head. Because that's a huge red flag for me. It's not just a red flag, it's like deal breaker, like you're not a rational individual type stuff. And I'm not talking about, like some woman I was talking to who seems otherwise quite nice and smart. She said she's spiritual in some ways and stuff, but she said she's Gnostic. And I don't think that she'd be a problem at all from a spiritual standpoint. She could be a problem from other standpoints because people are problems in lots of ways. But like being a Gnostic doesn't bother me. And I was talking with another friend of mine and I said, hey, are you still a Christian? And I've known her for a long time. And she said, yeah. And I said, well, what does that mean to you? And we talked about that because I know a lot about Christianity. I grew up in evangelical Christianity quite intensely. I kept the evangelical part. I dropped the Christianity part. But her version of Christianity, I've known her for such a long time, is more Christian than what the Christian church is. She, like me, thinks the Christian church is fake. And I would even be willing to, I say these anti-spiritual things, and I'm on groups where people say very anti-religious shit because they're atheists. And I'm like, I say all the time, I should just make a thing that's smarter in a video and cut and paste it in there. talking about the difference between not believing in God and thinking religion is terrible. Most religion is terrible. Most people might be terrible. Not all people are bad, and not all religions are bad. In fact, I'm damn near religious in my views. The values I hold, the conclusions I've come to, the enlightenment I've reached, it's a fucked up word, but seriously, I mean, I got a lot of shit figured out about how things can work, and of course no one's going to believe that unless I'm successful by their standards. But I'm very successful by my standards, as I don't even have enough money to go get a beer. Actually, that's not true. I could count up some change. I might even do that. Or maybe I should, in the fourth day of 2025, I should go straight edge. You know, not buy any more sleeping pills. And it will fuck me up for a while. And then do all the other shit people say of how you get to sleep is, get some physical exercise, which I need anyway. And there's no shortage of physical work to do. And I'm not going to go work out like in a gymnasium or work out with weights or do yoga or something. I'm not slamming all yoga. But there's so much work to be done here that physical activity should be applied to physical needs in the space as we relate to the forest, the land, and sculpt the earth and reproduce plants. There's so many movement-oriented activities that we need to do here that produce a product that I think that should be our first goal. And so even as I think, it would be really fun to have circus things here again. And I'm standing here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hula hoops. I think I counted one of those twice over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 hula hoops. I did miscount, but I undercounted my hula hoops. I've got other circus shit. Circus shit's fun. But you know what? I think we should focus on getting actual physical shit done here, and that the teams I set up should be ones coming in here to do things like, let's clear trails. Let's clear camping spots. Let's build primitive camping structures. Let's have some people online lining up sponsors who are philosophically agreeable, since I'm against most products, but not all of them. I want to set up a forge here. I made a video about having electric Honda ATVs here because that would be really cool, and I like those better than electric bikes. People fall over on bikes. I want sponsors here for temporary structures that people can live in while we build real structures. I want lighting. All my rechargeable lights are dead. I can charge them, but they don't hold a charge. And some of them have the kind of batteries you can replace. And so I need to buy the batteries that you can replace them with. And in some cases, I don't know what kind of battery's in there, so I got to open them up and see what battery's in there. And some of them are soldered in there, which means there's soldering involved. And already I don't feel like doing it. But, with one of the cameras, which would be another great sponsor, would be cameras. Currently I'm using a Zoom camera, which is not Zoom the web chatting service. It's Zoom the camera makers. And I can't show it to you. And they stupidly did not put on it what the model number is. Why didn't they do that? That's a really good question. They have the name, they have their brand name Zoom on it, and they say it's a handy video camera or something, but they don't say that model number. And they have another one I was interested in, but it doesn't have a replaceable battery. You have to recharge it. And this one does have you can swap the batteries in and out. Both those batteries are bad. And the thing I like about these Zoom cameras, this is now a sponsor advertisement for something I'm not getting the product for, but it has really good audio. So musicians like it. It has a good mic. Because anything with a tiny little pinhole mic on it is not going to have good enough audio. It's going to annoy me. But there's other cameras as well that I could get. And we could just, when people come here, teach everybody how to record themselves and anybody who's willing to be on camera, because I think people recording themselves is more honest. Like the TV show Alone, the reality TV show, where they dump people off into a cold place. It's a painful show to watch. This is not something I want to mimic because I don't want to watch people starve to death. But having people record their themselves and then having somebody dedicated to just uploading video constantly, where a person could have their own channel, and also there may be editors who are editing for stuff, but I would rather just put a lot of content out and let the world edit it. Like, just spew content, and then the world will figure out what was interesting. AI is going to edit my videos anyway later. I have a friend, he's like, your videos are too long, they're boring. Well, he's a nice guy, he's my friend, but I think they're too long, they're too boring, they're too repetitive. But, you know, it's the process I'm going through, and I'm sharing it with you for free, by the way. I don't even get any money off YouTube yet. Share my videos when they're useful. You don't have to share this one. I don't even know why you're watching it. But the point is, if people are here, I teach them how to over-record themselves. And, of course, they don't want to just ramble at the camera forever and look embarrassingly stupid. But, see, I don't care if I look stupid because I'm a fucking genius. So what I look like does not matter to me. But these other people that come here, if I can set them up with a camera that is a sponsored camera probably, and we've got the batteries charged for them, and we've got sets and spots, and they have tasks that are cool, and they can interview themselves or each other, and then all that shit's just being uploaded a ton, and then the internet finds out which parts of that are interesting and can be discussing it, and I can have special discussion groups for intelligent people. For example, there's commenters on my YouTube videos. Some of them I should be inviting into private forums, because some of them are actually experts on a topic that we're talking about. Like, they're a solar power expert. But like, my solar power is still broken because solar power experts have given me too many different answers about how to fix it. And one of the answers I've gotten, which is probably the accurate one, is your shit's too old, man. Your shit is just old. And so I need to get a whole new system. So if I was going to make a proposal for reopening this place, reopening the project and saving my goddamn life, now it's cold and nasty. My life has become cold and nasty. I would include, and this would be educational for people, if you were going to set up an off-grid cool place, what are all the systems you would need to create, and think about? And that's not just a video I could make, but a spreadsheet, a set of spreadsheets about breaking down the costs and time and materials for every stage of everything. And it's such a big piece of land that I've already figured out, not to the meter, but how to divide it up. And I'm not totally decided on it. I could get the map, walk around, and normally I'd want a bunch of colored stakes and a team of people and machetes tromping around. We could actually start putting lines in the ground. I don't know if there's any point to that, because I can remember what I come up with. And some of the decisions I have to make about land use planning, I mean, right now, that's beyond the scale. Right now, it's clean up and make the space functional. That's the first team I need. And I need to make an application form right now for people interested in coming here right now to do that. Signing up to do what the fuck they're told, not do anything that they're not told, and have lots of opportunities to do cool shit, of course. There's, endless places we can, recover the fire pits, and we can, have a trail system created again that's fun for walking around on. And people can be matched up with projects that they're very motivated to do, that they love. That's it. And I should name that first team. And I should pick a target number of how many people I want. I think number one is when there's money, it's easy to get temporary housing and camping stuff, and I've got infinite camping. And I've got buildings that can get cleaned up really quickly. So I'm picturing 20 to 30 people. That's a huge number of people to trust. And kids don't count. Kids actually require care. And so it's not the same. Like I've had families want to come here and volunteer. And it's like, I'm going to invite a family where, no, they're a net cost. You know, and I'm not saying I don't want families here. I do. But I can't, no, I need people who are young, motivated, good on camera or good with technology, because the future of it is in communicating with people funding it. And then people who want to do physical work in the forest. And it can be the same people. They're doing part of the time, because nobody needs to work all day with physical shit. I don't want to. Nobody needs to be stuck on the computer all the time. It's not healthy if people do only one thing. It's not right. Well, I said nothing new in this video. But I say it from a place of greater desperation and greater vision, and more willing, I guess, having talked to some people lately that I actually envision would be pretty cool people to know and have here. And even though I've had lots of cool people come through, I did not direct them into as useful projects as I could have. I felt ashamed to tell them what to do. I don't like leadership. I'm anti-authoritarian. And I think that people, though, would be signing on for a project. They would be signing on for, you know, fixing up a semi-fucked up place and then turning it into something truly amazing. That's the vision. I think I'll have another cup of this shitty coffee, go online, set limits on what I'm willing to do and not willing to do, get the fuck off of chatting randomly about random crap, you know, writing about things that don't matter, organizing all the resources I've already created, which are substantial. Even I don't know where you're seeing this video, but even like on this channel, whatever it is, making an outline of all the videos that exist so somebody can scan it, or that they can find videos related to topics that they're interested in. And I think writing up the form is really critical. And I am working with some people on that, where they'll actually take care of casting. They'll take care of filtering people. Because I don't like to say no to anyone. I could even send friends through that. I think that'd be smart. Yeah. Somebody else handles that selection process. Well, goodbye. I hope you're doing cool shit in your life. And I hope you're in a financial position where you actually donate to whatever the hell I set up, because none of this shit's happening without help from somewhere else. I'm day to day at this point. Once that bag of dog food is out, my van's busted, I'm at the end. I've seen the end coming for many, many years, because it's not a sustainable project. And so if you like it at all, even if you hate it and just want to see me keep failing, that's fine. But I'm hoping I won't keep failing. This place is such a fucked up mess. This is why I'm holding the camera at this angle. Is because I don't want to show you this fucked up mess right here. This crashed pirate ship I live in. I mean, you can't even sit down in this room. I have one chair I can sit in. And I have a nice easy chair over here, and it's just covered in junk. And I don't make a fire because I have nobody to make a fire for. And I like to think I don't need anything. But I do need things. I need good people in my life. And one inspiring thing I've seen online is how many people are lonely. And you might say, why the fuck would that inspire you? That's depressing. No, it's encouraging. It means I'm not alone in being lonely. And I've thought enough about how things can be done. I mean, some people are lonely because they're fucked up. Now, I'm lonely because I'm fucked up too. But fucked up people are fucked up partly due to their environment. And they're not necessarily fatal. People can be fixed. People can be forgiven. People do bad things because they're in bad environments. Or they're just bad people. I don't discount the fact that that can exist. But I think that given the right structure and realizing that freedom is a stupid idea, not in general, and we should create a freedom in the world because a lot of our problems come from it not being a free world. And I don't mean free because some people, it bothers me the word free actually, because some people think that if they live as a free person that everything should be free for them. It's really a problem in the word that freedom sounds like it should be free. No, freedom is something you have to, fucking motherfucker. Here we go. Freedom is something you should have to fuck some motherfuckers over to protect. And in fact, you do. Because given the opportunity, people will make a non-free system for you to be trapped in. I want to make a non-free system for certain people that seem good and trustworthy. You know, if I ever get my hand cut off, I'm going to be especially prepared for it because I spend so much time talking to a camera and trying to do things one-handed. Not much of a benefit. Having a system in which people voluntarily agree to a set of laws and rules and customs and culture is not the same as them not being free. This is how we find freedom, is by choosing our bondage. We find freedom by choosing social agreements with people where, yeah, we do give up rights, but there's a whole bunch of them we want to give up, and we want others to give up. Like we give up the right to coerce others. We give up the right to destroy shit. We give up the right to party like there's no tomorrow. Because there is a fucking tomorrow, and it really does matter. So that coffee cup, fiesta like there's no mañana, right here, is bullshit. How about we party like we have to create a new world that will allow us to escape being in the one we're in? And what I want to offer is one vision of that future party, that future survival of civilization and humanity, a tiny survival pocket. And I see all this post-apocalyptic television and shit. People understand things are fucked up, and they would like to get away from that. And I could provide a really exciting experimental opportunity for that. And I think I shouldn't think about trying to find people who are going to live here forever. But I don't want to host short-term people either, because that's pretty useless. I mean, the people who are going to come visit me soon, in a month, they're short-term. But you're very short. What is bullshit Nescafe crap? Can't believe that this is how low this is rock bottom for me, baby. Oh my God. we can't just rebel against the system. We have to build something to run to. Let's just fuck up our metaphors. That's not even a mixed metaphor. It's just a fucked up potential half metaphor thing. We can't just run from things. We got to run to things. Buckminster Fuller had a great quote on this. You got to create a replacement for something. I don't know what the fuck he said. But that's the fun of it. That's the project here. And I think that this freedom concept is that I just need to define what exact social agreements I think will work here that I would like, that work for this location. Because otherwise I just attract a bunch of people who want to be in charge of shit they know nothing about and be in control of other people. And they're just propagating all the evils of civilization. And they're very persistent. And they're quite certain they're right because they're just the same kind of pigs that have ruined this world in the first place. Doesn't sound polite to say that, does it? It's the case, though. God damn it, I can't see shit. There we go, there's one. There's two. Come on, go in there. And so I want to create a place with immense freedom, but within a context that is an alternative to the usual bondage that we should rebel against. But the only way to rebel, the only way to find freedom is to create something else and to choose our own bondage, to choose the social contracts, the promises we make to each other. And that's it. I rambled long enough. I'll get a forum up. I'll get a nonprofit going. I'll see how long I can remain motivated even just for today. Fuck. I think once I get more people here, and 20 or 30 is optimistic, but if I can get even a couple people here who are tough as fuck and can be into it enough and clean up this massive mess and get my toys into action and start getting sponsors and income, any kind of income of some kind. Kill some rats. I hear rats at night doing shit. Everything's just a mess. Like it's 20 times worse than you can imagine. Maybe. I don't know. I'll see you later. See you in the magical future.